Hi everyone, it's Noel here from the Active Newcastle team again with this week's food facts in 5 or less. And this week we're looking at food labels. So this is a bit of a tricky one. It can take a while to get your head round. So on pre-packaged foods, there will be lots of information on there. So it'll be things like obviously the name of the product, the nutritional info, the ingredients. There might be some traffic lights on there. Could be storage info, cooking instructions, the weight of the product, manufacturer's contact details, suitability for veggies or vegans, serving suggestions, recommended daily intake, guideline daily intake. So there could be loads of stuff on there, best before, used by, that type of stuff. So on a small product like this, you might think, well, where do I need to look to make the best choices around my health, around my energy balance, or around my weight management? So that's what we're going to talk about here. And for me, there's 3 things we need to focus on. The first thing is the traffic lights. So a lot in the packaging, they will have a traffic light system. In common sense, green is good, healthy sort of choices in there. Amber, we need to be a little bit wary of. Red is obviously more the unhealthy stuff that we need to cut back on. And as a good guide, a quick guide, that's a good thing to follow. However, not all the packaging and food companies use the same traffic light system. So sometimes it can just be sort of sky blue like this, and we're not too sure what to base that on. So that's in 3rd place, that's a bronze medal. Silver medal would be the list of ingredients. And you may not know that they are listed in abundance. So whatever's top of that list of ingredients is in the product the most. Whatever second is the second most abundant. Third is third, fourth, etc. That type of stuff. So if you're looking at the list of ingredients and seeing sugar towards the top, that might set off some alarm bells around the healthiness of that. Likewise, if you bought a chicken dinner and chicken's only 4th or 5th on that list, you might start to think, well, surely this should be in the top 2, if not the top 1. So that's a handy little trick for you there. But without doubt, the most important one is the nutritional info section on the food labels. So this is a bit that gives you the energy, i.e. the calorie content of the product, but also how much sugar, how much fat, how much salt, and that's in there. So that's what we're going to spend our time on here. And it's a bit of a tricky one to get our head round. So there will always be nutritional info on the packaging for you to check. The trouble is, it can be listed in different sections. So it might be listed as per portion, per product, per slice, per serving, per bowl. But by law, it also has to have per 100 grams, or if it was a fluid, per 100 milliliters. And that's what we're focused on. That's the first golden rule. Always check per 100 grams. And the reason for that is it gives you a chance to compare things on an equal basis. Foods come in all different shapes and sizes, as you can see here. And if we just base these 2 products on the size of the product and check the sugar content, they would actually be pretty similar. But obviously the Ortibix is about 9 times the size of that, so it's not really a fair comparison. By sticking to the 100 grams, that means we can make a fairer, more informed decision. It also gives you as a percentage as well, which is handy. So if something had 25 grams of sugar per 100, it's 25% sugar. So what's good and what's bad? So let's focus on sugar first. So to find the sugar, you need to go to the carbohydrate section. Yeah, sugar is a form of carbohydrate. It's a simple form, not a complex form. And it will be sort of in brackets of which sugar. So that is your sugar content of that product. To be a low sugar product, it is 5 grams or less per 100, so 5%. To be a high sugar product, it is 22.5 grams or above, or 22.5% or above. So check your sugar content there. For your fat, it's 3 grams or less per 100, so 3% or less to be a low fat product. To be a high fat product, 17.5 grams or above, or again, 17.5%. For your saturated fats, so the ones that can impact your cholesterol levels and heart health, 1.5 grams or below is a low saturated fat product. 5 grams or above is a high saturated fat product. So cut back on my fat and try and cut back even more on my saturated fat. Salt is also important for our health, so that should be listed on there as well. There'll be a lot of hidden salt in foods. So 0.3 grams or less per 100 is a low salt product, and 1.5 grams or above is a high salt product. Now the trouble is sometimes salt is listed as sodium, and sodium is just a component of salt. It's not the true salt level. So what you need to do is multiply that by 3 to get the true salt level. So sodium, to be low sodium, if it's listed like that, is 0.1 grams or below, or to be a high sodium product, 0.5 grams or above. So hopefully I've just sneaked in under the 5 minutes there. Ask away in the comments, because this is a tricky one and it's important we get our head around this, and then I can expand on it in a bit more detail there, folks. Hope you found that useful though, and I'll catch you later in the week. Cheers.